How's everybody doing? Oh, we're getting the call. Oh, let me adjust the screen right here. Let's see how they keep the screen. Ah, damn, they got it back there. I gotta move. See, I gotta figure something out. Don't trip. Don't trip. Hey, Tara, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Is the audio coming in clearly or what? Let me see here. Let me pop out that chat. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Tara. Thank you for the confirmation. Sounds great. All right. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That is what's up, Tabitha. How's it going? Let me see right here. Hey, what, did I just see Hot Mess Express up in here? That's right. Let me see. Let me get some light on me so I could be a little, so I won't be so dark. Got some light on me here. How is everybody doing today? Hey, thank you, KC. Thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate that. Was looking at the cop today. Hey, I gotta fix the title of this video right here. Oh snap! It's already going on 9 hours. I gotta go ahead and cut this one because after 11 hours, the video start tripping. What the what? Today for the vertical, Tara, I'm using my Samsung phone instead of the iPhone because the iPhone was it wasn't cutting the mustard, if you will. See, just setting everything up right now. Okay. The court. Active source.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for Friday, February 21st. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of February will apply to the hearings on this calendar. As we get started in here this afternoon, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. I will ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I'll ask the next person courtroom to have a seat in one of the, I think there's a blue and a green chair right inside this door facing all of you. So what I will intend to do is call one of you into the courtroom. I'll ask the next person to have a seat in the first chair and then the next person to have a seat in the second chair. And we'll just sort of cycle through the calendar that way. So you'll go from chair number 2 to chair number 1 to the courtroom back to the chair you're in right now. I know that seems kind of like an exercise in musical chairs, but I assure you it will make this calendar move quicker. And so if you will listen for your name and follow that little sort of chair hopping, everybody can get to where they need to go from here a little bit quicker. Okay, once you work your way into the courtroom and you're behind the podium, I will start by asking each of you to state your full name and date of birth. I will then tell you why you're here this afternoon. I will tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, sometimes called a public defender, to represent you for whatever it is you're here on. Please know that if you are here on a criminal matter and you are not entitled to a public defender, you do have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you in any criminal proceeding. Once we talk about whether you're entitled to a public defender, I will then give you the next court hearing dates and times that you'll be required to attend after this court hearing. And the last thing we'll do while you're in the courtroom is talk about whether you are legally eligible for release from custody. If you are, we will talk about what the terms and conditions of your release will be. In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel, those of you here on criminal matters also have the right to remain silent. These are recorded criminal proceedings. Anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this afternoon will be preserved on the recording and can be used against you at any point down the line in these proceedings. Whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this morning for purposes of your, or excuse me, this afternoon for purposes of your defense. Because you will not have a lawyer in here this afternoon, and because anything you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution all of you against making any statements regarding the facts about why you're here. I encourage all of you to save any statements, comments, questions you have about the facts of your case for a hearing where you have legal counsel present to discuss that with before you make any statements in open court that you can't take back.
Hey, what did it say private?
Started is that everything I tell you while you're in the courtroom here this afternoon will be contained in a written document called a release order. You will get a copy of that document when you're done in the courtroom and you step back into the room that you're in right now. So please don't feel like you need to memorize dates and times and information as we're going through it in the courtroom, but please keep that paperwork that you get with you wherever you go from here this afternoon.
What up, hey?
As long as you keep that paperwork, in that paperwork, you'll still have access to all the information that you got while you were in the courtroom. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I please have Yesenia Figueroa all the way into the courtroom? Guadalupe Ramirez, if you would take a seat in that first chair inside the door, and then Jamie Lynn Cook, if you would work your way to that second chair, please.
Hey, and I want to welcome
good afternoon.
Southside.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yesenia Figueroa, April 24th, 1980.
Did you say 1980 or
90?
90? Okay, thank you, Ms. Figueroa. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are one count of taking contraband into a correctional facility, one count of being a prisoner in possession of or making contraband. Those two allegations are class 2 felonies, and one count of narcotic drug possession, which is a class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on those new allegations will be a status conference February 27th, and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that those new charges violated term 1 of your probation. In that probation matter, I have also appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing in the probation matter will be a revocation arraignment February 28th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that probation matter, you are not eligible for release on bond. On the probation case, you will be held in custody without bond at least until your hearing on the 28th. Because you will not be bond eligible on the probation case at least until after that hearing on the 28th, I encourage you to wait until after that probation hearing before attempting to post the bond on the new charges. Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Figueroa. If you'll wait for your paperwork and then head back to your left.
Hey, Samantha. Yeah, you're funny.
Okay, Guadalupe Ramirez to the podium in the courtroom, please. Roy Nakar, if you'd work your way to the second chair.
Nah, so I got the backup
Good
just in
afternoon.
case.
Please have your name and date of birth.
Guadalupe Ramirez, 5296.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 26 counts. 26 counts of organized retail theft. 24 of those are class 4 felonies. 2 of them are class 5 felonies. I have found probable cause to support all 26 allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference February 27th, and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Because these allegations are all felony allegations alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in a different felony matter, you are not eligible for release on bond on these charges. You will be held in custody without bail at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing is scheduled for February 28th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Between now and that hearing on the 28th at 1:30, you will be held without bond. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ramirez. If you will, you can step back to your left. Your paperwork looks like it's over there. Jamie Lynn Cook to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jerry Adams, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair.
Hey, if you're not tapping, you must be napping, and please hit the thumbs
Good
up.
Good afternoon. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Jalen Merchant Cook, 1997.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It is a class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearings on that new allegation will be a status conference February 27th and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that new allegation, I have imposed a $25,000 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters that you're here on are both allegations that that new charge violated term 1 of your probation. In both of those probation cases, I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing in both of those cases will be a revocation arraignment February 28th, also at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of the 2 probation matters, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond for all 3 of these matters will be $25,500. It is all secured appearance, which means you can use the bonding company to post that. If you do post that bond and you're released from custody, you cannot have contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses of the underlying new aggravated assault allegation, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cook. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Next up on the Price is Wrong.
Roy Nakar to the podium in the courtroom, please. Matthew Enderly, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
What do you guys think Nakar is going to be here for? Wrong answers only,
Can I have your
preferably,
name and
and
date of birth, please,
emojis.
Roy Nakar, February 2nd, 2006.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nakar. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation against you is 1 count of aggravated robbery. It is a class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference February 27th and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, I have imposed a $25,000 secured appearance bond. You can use a bonding company to post that. If you do post that bond and you're released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying alleged robbery took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged victims or co-defendants. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nakar. You can step back and get your paperwork.
I'm running it on both accounts
Jerry
right now.
Adams to the podium in the courtroom, please. Cambrell Griffin, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
So I'm running it on both accounts right now. Actually, I'm running on 4 accounts right now.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jerry Adams, 7/7/1978.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adams. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of theft of a means of transportation, that's a class 4 felony, and 1 count of theft of a credit card, that's a class 5 felony. I have found probable cause to support both of those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference February 27th, and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, based in part on a written recommendation from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, I have imposed a $15,000 cash-only bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses of the underlying offenses, and you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released. Do you understand those conditions?
So no OR?
No OR. You have to post that bond in order to be eligible for release. All right. Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Yep.
Matthew Enderly to the podium in the courtroom, please. Cynthia Cedillos, if you would work your way to the second chair.
Cynthia. What do you guys think Cynthia is in here for?
Good afternoon. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Damn,
Matthew Enderly, February 19th, 1985.
Thanks, Mr. Enderly. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are one count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, that's a Class 5 felony, and one count of leaving the scene of an accident, that's a Class 2 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support these allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference February 27th, and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription, and you cannot operate a motor vehicle if you are released and you don't have a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Enderly. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Damn, what's up with his back?
Cambrell Griffin to the podium in the courtroom, please. Helen Corona, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
Up next on The Price is Wrong. And
good afternoon, sir. May I please have your name and date of birth?
Cambrell Griffin, 11/29, 1995.
19 what?
1995.
95. Thank you, Mr. Griffin. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a not guilty arraignment hearing in an existing case involving, it looks like aggravated assault, resisting arrest, and shoplifting allegations. You already have a lawyer assigned to represent you in that case. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a new arraignment hearing. It will take place February 28th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $5,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you're released from custody, I have reaffirmed the prior conditions applicable to your release. Those include that you not return to the scene where any of these underlying allegations took place, and that you not have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. You also can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Griffin. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Mr. Griffin. Hey, so other states.
Cynthia Cedillo to the podium in the courtroom, please. Lucky DeWitt, if you would work your way to the second chair.
So other states do offer these live streams, but they're not like Arizona.
Can I have your name and date of birth?
All day long.
Cynthia Cedillo, May 31st, 1986.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cedillo. You are here on an initial arrest warrant issued by consolidated court. The underlying allegation in that case is one count of theft of a means of a Class 3 felony. It looks like the warrant alleges that that offense was committed October 5th of 2024. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you against that allegation. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing.
Okay.
That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing February 20th in the morning in the Lake Havasu City Court. And on that warrant, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released, you cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses, victims, or co-defendants of the underlying allegation if there are any and you know who they are. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Helen Corona to the podium in the courtroom, please. Deirdre Draper, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
Thank you for that. Bless you.
Good afternoon. May I please have your name and date of birth?
Corona, 10/21/85.
Thank you very much, Ms. Corona. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that alleges a new allegation against you. The allegation in that direct complaint is 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale. It is a class 2 felony alleged to have been committed February 2nd of 2024.
She shot out.
I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against that allegation. Your next court hearings will be a status conference February 27th, and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the direct complaint warrant, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both allegations. The charges in that, or the charge in the direct complaint, is a violation of term 1 of your probation. In both of those probation cases, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing in each of those 2 cases will be a revocation arraignment hearing February 28th, also at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of the 2 probation cases, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So $500 total on those 2 probation matters, $5,500 total for all 3 cases. If you post that bond and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription.
We're doing.
Do you understand all of those conditions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Corona. You can step back and get your paperwork.
You might be wondering what is.
Lucky DeWitt to the podium in the courtroom,
We are
please.
doing
Ignacio
live
Montano.
job
If you would work your way to the
interviews.
second chair.
Hey, thank you for that follow,
Good
Kinsey.
afternoon, sir. Can I
Appreciate
please have your
that.
name and date of birth?
Lucky Paul DeWitt, 6/13/81.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. You are here on a probation violation warrant.
Yep.
A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3, 5, and 21.
Okay.
I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 28th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown.
Okay.
On that warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond.
Meaning,
I'm sorry?
secured appearance meaning what?
Meaning you can use a bonding company. It doesn't have to be posted in full cash.
Okay.
If you post that bond and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, Mr. DeWitt?
No, I guess I would have to ask the probation judge. I'm trying to get this stuff moved to Iowa.
Yes. Yeah, if you want to be supervised out of state on your in-state probation, you're right. The probation judge is the one that has the authority to issue that order. Talk to your lawyer. So in your release order, you'll have the phone number to the public defender's office.
Okay.
If you want to talk to your lawyer or a lawyer before your hearing, you can always use that number and try and give them a call. Otherwise, when you go to your hearing on the 28th, a lawyer will be there to represent you.
Okay.
Before your case is called, you can talk to that lawyer and say, hey, I want to try and get my probation supervised out of state. Your lawyer will know if that's an appropriate request and how to make it to the probation judge. Okay, thanks, Mr. DeWitt. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Hey, you're right, Randy. Hey, to put in
Deirdre
perspective,
Draper to the podium in the
I'm
courtroom,
44 years
please.
old.
DeAndre Brown, if you'd work your way to the second chair.
I look 44, but I don't look
Can I have
shot
your name
out.
and date of birth, please?
Deidre Draper, March 18, 1988.
Thank you very much, Ms. Draper. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of assault and 1 count of disorderly conduct. They are both class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations. I've also determined that you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing February 26th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the Buckeye Municipal Court. On these allegations, I have imposed a $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying alleged events took place. You cannot have contact with the alleged victim. You also cannot possess any weapons or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Whether or not you are released from custody, you are ordered to strictly comply with the terms of any orders of protection, if any have been or are later served upon you. Ms. Draper, if these orders in combination mean that I'm ordering you not to return to your primary residence, if you are released from custody, you must find an alternate residence at least until your first hearing on the 26th. If you are released and you need to return to the location where these events took place because it is your primary residence and that's where all of your personal items are, you can have 1 civil standby. which means you can return to that location one time between when you're released and your first hearing on the 26th to retrieve any personal items at that location you might need. But in order to do that, you have to be accompanied by a law enforcement officer. You can make those arrangements by calling the non-emergency number to any local police agency. Please don't call 911. If you need that civil standby, you can call, you could do Buckeye PD, you could call the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, whoever has an available officer to escort you back there, they will tell you that and they'll give you instructions on how to meet with them and get back to that location. Okay, do you understand all of those conditions?
You said secured bond?
Yes, that means you can use a bonding company.
Drop one, flush one.
Great.
Do you have questions about that?
So I'm going into custody, right?
Well, you're in custody now and you'll stay in custody unless and until that bond is posted. So if you post that bond, you'll be eligible for release from custody. If you're out of custody, you have to get yourself to that next court hearing on the 26th.
How much is the bond?
It's 25,000, or excuse me, it's 2,500 secured appearance.
Damn, scared
So
me.
if you want to go through a bonding company, back in the facility, there's a list of bonding companies and their phone numbers posted in various places. You can find one of those lists or ask any of the jail officers to get you one of those lists. You could start calling those bonding companies now, see what their requirements are. Often bonding companies will work something out with you where you pay less than the full amount up front, but you'd have to work out what those requirements would be with the bonding company.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
I believe it was DD
Ignacio
Caitlin.
Montano to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jacqueline Guerrero, if you'd work your way to the second chair.
Hey, Savage, thank you for
Good
sharing.
afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Ignacio Montano, 61485.
Thank you very much, Mr. Montano. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a felony warrant issued by the Pinal County Superior Court on a existing felony drug case. If you don't already have a lawyer assigned to defend you in that case, one will be appointed for you by the Pinal County judge at your next hearing. Your next hearing on that Pinal County warrant will be an arraignment hearing February 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Pinal County Superior Court. On that warrant, you have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both Maricopa County probation violation warrants. In both of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed, alleging that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. In both of the Maricopa County cases, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next hearing in both of those cases will be a revocation arraignment February 28th at 8:30 here in the Maricopa County Superior Court. On the 2 Maricopa County warrants, you also have a $1,500 secured appearance bond each. So on all 3 of these warrants, your total bond will be $4,500, all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
If I stay in custody, will I get shipped to Pinal County? I guess you would know that, huh?
Yeah, you would. So if you don't post that bond and you're still in custody come the date and time of your Pinal County hearing, Pinal County will come get you, take you down to that hearing, and then either bring you back or MCSO would then go get you from Pinal County for your hearing on the 28th. So the short answer is yes, if you're in custody, transportation arrangements will be made for your hearing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next.
DeAndre Brown to the podium in the courtroom, please. Crystal Magallanes to the podium,
Hey,
or excuse me, to the second chair.
How is everybody doing today? And where are you guys tuning in from?
Can
If you
I
guys
name
don't
and
mind
date of birth,
sharing.
please, sir?
DeAndre Brown, May 4th, 2005.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. You are here on 4 probation violation warrants. In all 4 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. All 4 of them allege that you have violated terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer for you in all 4 cases. Your next court hearing in each of these cases will be a revocation arraignment February 28th at 8:30. It'll be in the probation court downtown. On 2 of these 4 warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. One is $750 and the other is $50. So your total bond for all 3 of these will be $1,800. $1,800. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Man,
Jacqueline
about time.
Guerrero to the podium in the courtroom, please.
What do you think
Carlos
this is,
Torres, if you'd please work your way
Yoga
to that
class?
second chair.
Stretching class?
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jacqueline Guerrero, 11/29/1984.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. You are here on 3 probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. All 3 of them allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5.
I just want to be released to go back home. I was walking on the sidewalk and I don't know what happened.
Let me get through this and I'll let you ask questions you might have about your release conditions when I'm done getting through all this. Okay, on these 3 warrants, I've appointed a lawyer for you in each case. Your next court hearing on all 3 matters will be a revocation arraignment, February 28th at 8:30. On these 3 warrants, you have a total bond of $1,000 secured appearance. It's $500 on one of the warrants, $250 on the other 2. So $1,000 total for all 3. It is secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Okay, if your question is about the circumstances of your arrest or your statements are about the circumstances of your arrest, I encourage you to save those for your lawyer. It is your lawyer and the probation court that will be interested in that information. Do you have questions about your release conditions?
I just want to know when I'm going to be released. I didn't do anything. I didn't have my ID on me.
So you have a bond. So if you do not post that bond, then you will stay in custody until your hearing on the 28th.
Last time I was here, there was someone that threatened to kill me.
Okay, talk to your lawyer about that.
Wait, what?
Okay, you can step back and get your paperwork. Crystal Magallanes to the podium in the courtroom, please. Lisa Fletcher, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Crystal Magallanes, 3/21/88.
I didn't hear your date of birth. Will you say it again, please?
3/21/88.
Thank you very much. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the probation court when you failed to appear at a revocation arraignment hearing. You already have a lawyer assigned to you in that case, so that lawyer will continue to represent you in that case. Your next court hearing will be a new revocation arraignment hearing. It will be February 28th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond.
Can I be OR'd? Because I had 2 court dates at the same day, same time.
Yeah,
so I did go to one.
You have to post that bond in order to be eligible for release. In the event something like that happens again, you have to work that out with the court prior to the date and time of the hearing. Otherwise, when you're not in the court, the court's going to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Okay.
So if that's the circumstance and your lawyer thinks it's appropriate, your lawyer can talk to the probation judge about modifying that bond amount because it's the probation judge that issued that warrant that set that amount. So either use the phone number. Well, do you know who your lawyer is in this case already?
I don't.
Okay, so I don't know. Let me see. I don't know if it'll be on your paperwork because you already had a lawyer. Let me see if it's there.
Hey, how do you get 2 court dates on the same day? Did she know she needed to duplicate herself?
So I was under the impression that when I went to court that day in Mesa that it was like put together.
So this case is pending in the Superior Court.
Okay.
So if you had a different case in Mesa, they would not have been together. So this would have been an independent one. What I'm going to try and do is, do you have a pen?
I do. Yeah.
Could you write the phone number to the public defender's office on her paperwork?
Of course.
Okay, it is 602-506-7711.
77.
So it looks like the lawyer assigned to your case is employed by the public defender's office. His name appears to be Jonathan Denny. So the officer just wrote that phone number on your paperwork because you already had a lawyer and I'm not appointing one. The phone number's not in there, but she's going to hand write that. That phone number will get you to the public defender's office. You can ask for Mr. Denny or give him the case number off this paperwork. They'll know how to find your case and get you to the lawyer assigned to you. Talk to your lawyer about the circumstances of how and why you allegedly missed that hearing. And like I said, if your lawyer thinks it's appropriate, they can petition the probation court to modify these release conditions.
And how long will that take?
You'll have to talk to your lawyer. I don't know.
Versus posting bond.
Well, it's the 21st now. Your hearing is the 28th. I think it would probably be faster. Well, certainly faster to get you out of custody if you just posted the bond.
Okay.
You could also talk to your lawyer. It is still possible for you to post this, get it modified, and get it back. I mean, either way, if you post this and you comply with the court terms and go to all of your hearings, that bond money is going to be released to you. So if you post that bond and you're out of custody, but you still feel that it is appropriate to ask the court to modify that, you still have the right to do that. You can still talk to your lawyer about that.
Okay.
And you know, you could also give the lawyer a call. It's 2:30 right now, so you could try to reach somebody if you could quickly before attempting to post that bond. If they say you're better off just posting it, you could do it. If they say, oh, don't worry, we could get something filed today, maybe that would be faster, then you could go that route.
Okay.
So you have options. I think probably your fastest option to get out of custody is to just post the bond.
So I tried to post it earlier in Tempe, and they said, no, I needed to see you first.
Yeah. So Tempe is not a jurisdiction that I handle.
Okay.
And Tempe would not have had jurisdiction to see you on this probation warrant. Yeah. It's a superior court case. So are you done with Tempe?
Yeah, I mean, they bring me here because of this.
And does she still have to go back?
No.
Could she be released if she posted? There's no, okay. So yeah, it sounds like you're done with Tempe. So if you posted this bond, you'd be released.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Carlos Torres to the podium in the courtroom, please. Tiffany Matthews, if you please work your way to the second chair.
Not a way that I would want to end up on my Fridays, the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Carlos Torres, 03-2694.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You have a lawyer assigned to you in that case already. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference February 27th and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, it was just a quick question. You said we can get a phone number. Is it here for bondsmen, or where do we get that information?
If you want to use a bonding company?
Yep.
It's back in the jail facility. There's a piece of paper posted in various different places. I think it just says bail bond companies or something. It has their phone numbers and their names. So it's back in the jail facility. If you can't find one, you can ask any jail staff either to point one out to you or to give you one, and they can get you in contact with that paperwork. Anything else?
So I guess the reason I missed the first little hearing was something that I scheduled with like Section 8 or whatever that I couldn't miss. I called in the day of the second hearing. They said that I wasn't on the calendar for court, so that's why I didn't show up. I'm a little confused why.
Talk to your lawyer about that. I don't know the procedural history of your case. I don't know exactly how the underlying hearings played out. All I know is that a hearing was set and you weren't in attendance, and so that court issued a warrant. So talk to your lawyer. Your lawyer can work out how and why that happened and can get you back on track in this case.
Do you know who that is?
Your lawyer?
Yeah. I've been trying to contact him for a while. We've been getting voicemails.
What I have is somebody by the name of Jacob Dunn, D-O-N-E, at the Public Defender's Office.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Mr. Torres. You can step back and get your
That's
paper.
right, BK. Yeah.
Lisa Fletcher to the podium in the courtroom, please.
Up next on the price
Young,
is
if you'd work your way to that second chair.
How's everybody doing out there today?
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Lisa Fletcher, 12-1281.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fletcher. You are here on 3 probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They all allege that you have violated terms 7, 11, and 21. I have appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 cases. Your next court hearing in each case will be a revocation arraignment February 28th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on all 3 of these warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $1,500. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
The secured bond, does that mean it would be paid in full?
No, you can use a bonding company to post that.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fletcher. You can step back and get your paperwork.
You know what, this judge, she's pretty
Tiffany
nice.
Matthews to the podium in the courtroom, please. Edward Rojas, if you'd please work your way to the second
She's
chair.
courteous.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Damn, girl.
Thank you very much. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony case involving aggravated assault allegations. You already have a lawyer assigned to you in that case. That lawyer will continue to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference February 27th and then a preliminary hearing March 3rd, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you cannot have contact with the victims of the alleged underlying assault allegation, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Matthews. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Miss Matthews.
Terrell Young to the podium in the courtroom, please. Matthew McKee, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Damn.
Thank you, Mr. Young. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed, alleging that you have violated terms 3, 5, and 15. I have appointed a lawyer for you in each case. Your next court hearing will be a hearing, just one, excuse me, will be a revocation arraignment hearing. It will be February 28th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of these 2 warrants, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $500. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Young. You can step back and get your paperwork. Edward Rojas to the podium in the courtroom, please. Sherelle Brooks, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
Up next
Good
on The
afternoon,
Price
sir.
is
Can I have your name and
Wrong.
date of birth, please?
Edward Rojas, 12/16/80.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed, alleging that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer for you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment, February 28th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of these 2 warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $200, all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rojas. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Yeah.
Matthew McKee to the podium in the courtroom, please. Brittany Duran, if you please work your way to the chair.
She seems pretty fair.
Can I have your name and date of birth?
Good flow.
Yeah, Matthew Edward McKee, February 4th, 1994.
Thank you very much, Mr. McKee. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of resisting arrest, a class 6 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, and 2 counts of shoplifting. Those last 3 are all class 1 misdemeanor allegations.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I have found probable cause to support those allegations. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you.
Can I ask?
Let her speak.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll give you a chance to ask questions at the end. Okay, your next court hearings will be a status conference March 7th and then a preliminary hearing March 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services.
Yes.
So you will be released from, no, completely inappropriate. Once you are released, you will be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearings. You will also be ordered to contact pretrial services. With your release paperwork, you're going to get a packet. In that packet will be all of their contact information. Once you are out of custody, you are also ordered not to return to the scene of the alleged shoplifting offenses. You cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses of those offenses, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I want to say thank you because my daughter just had a heart surgery.
Okay, well, go
So I'm
ahead,
going
get out
home?
here, call pretrial services and take care of your daughter.
So I'm calling or going home right now?
Well, it'll be a couple hours,
Okay,
but yes.
but I'm going to the.
You're going to be processed for release, yes. Okay, Sherelle Brooks to the
going
podium in the
home?
courtroom, please.
Man, I like his
Richard
energy.
Garvey, if you please
Like
work
he
your way
just
to
won the
that second
Super
chair.
Bowl.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
That's 52585, Sherelle Brooks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brooks. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 7th and then a preliminary hearing March 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it will be your responsibility to get yourself to your next court hearing date. You are also ordered not to return to the scene where the alleged trespassing offense took place. You cannot have any contact with alleged victims or witnesses of that offense. And once you are out of custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Hey.
I have a really quick question, because when that initially happened, like there was like this whole big scene, and when I went to Mesa, I was told that I was being inducted to being a police officer. And before they dropped me off here, I asked the police officer to go, because the girl, before we left Mesa, I asked her to confirm the information, and she told me that I was being inducted to be a police officer. We come here before she let me in. She told me, I asked her the same information, and she said, yeah, you're being inducted in. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know how that works either. I have no information about that. So if you believe that to be the case, once you're out of custody, I encourage you to contact Mesa Police. Okay, thank you.
Hey, who thinks that other guy, the one that was happy?
Duran to the podium in the courtroom, please.
Who thinks he'll be back tonight? Who thinks that he will be back tonight? I say he'll be back tonight.
Brittany Josephine Duran.
And what's your date of birth?
2/11/82.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rand. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, that's a class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia, 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 7th and then a preliminary hearing March 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it will be your responsibility to get yourself to both of your next court hearings. Once you are out of custody, you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Rand. You can step back and get your paperwork.
For anybody that's wondering, yes,
Richard
this is
Garvey
live.
to the podium in the courtroom, please.
This is live, and this is Maricopa County, Arizona. And they have these hearings all day long. They have 8 hearings in a day.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Richard Garvey, 2/23/1958.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garvey. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation against you is 1 count of narcotic drug possession. It is a class 4 felony. I have not found probable cause to support that allegation. My finding of no probable cause does not mean it is legally dismissed. It is still possible that the county attorney's office will file charges on this allegation. But what my finding of probable cause does mean is that I am not going to be imposing any release conditions in this matter. You will be released from custody. I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. In the event that the county attorney's office does file charges on this, the lawyer that I've appointed will defend you against those charges. I'm also going to give you court hearing dates. So you're going to be out of custody. You don't have any restrictions or requirements once you're released, other than that you go to these court dates. So the first court date will be March 7th. The second is March 11th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. When you go to court on the 7th at 8:30, you will find out whether charges have been filed or not. If no charges have been filed, the court might tell you you don't have to go back on the 11th. But here's what I'll tell you, Mr. Garvey. If charges are filed by the county attorney's office and you don't show up at that hearing on the 7th, that court will issue a warrant for your arrest. So make sure you're in court on March 7th at 8:30. You have the phone number and address to the court in your paperwork, but you're going to get out of custody, no additional restrictions.
Thank you.
You understand that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garvey. It looks like you got your paperwork. You can head back to your left.
Hey, Drew, thank you for that information. Highly appreciate that. He writes, I am from here, and if you go to jail, then you go to court within 3 hours. Damn, that's the system working at its best. Overtime.
Number 31 on the calendar, Sergio Rafael Lerma Sanchez, date of birth 11/19/98, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 2 counts of aggravated assault, both class 4 felonies, and 1 count of resisting arrest, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 27th and a preliminary hearing March 3rd, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Number 22 on the calendar, Jihad Faraj, date of birth 9/16/98, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke his probation have been filed, alleging violations of terms 3 and 15. I've appointed a lawyer for him in both cases. His next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing February 28th at 8:30. On each of these 2 matters, he has a $2,500 secured appearance bond for a total bond of $5,000, all secured appearance. Okay, can I please have Michael Gallegos into the courtroom behind the podium?
This is going to be bad. You probably want to leave if you got some childhood trauma or trauma.
Right up
normally,
here, please, sir.
this is normally bad cases.
Behind this podium, right here. Yep.
You've been warned.
Yep, right there. All right, can I have your name and date of birth?
May 24, 1964.
And what's your name?
Michael Gallegos.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gallegos. You are here on a grand jury warrant. A state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against you. That indictment contains 1 count. The count in that indictment is failing to register as a sex offender. It is a class 4 felony. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against that allegation. If you, your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing February 28th at 8:30. That hearing will be in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 cash only bond. 500? If you post that bond and you're released from custody, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. And if you are on probation, you have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours or 3 days of being released from custody if you post that bond. Do you understand those conditions? Do you understand those conditions?
Wood chipper. Do I understand those conditions?
Wood chipper time.
You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, whatever. I ain't gonna lie to you. In 1998, I went to jail. And that was, you know, because you can put it like that in jail. Then I went to prison. I get out 2020. And the first probation officer that I had, he told me I only had 5 years probation. That's it. You know, that's what he told me. You know, he said, if you do good, you get out 4 years. You know, and
this has nothing to do with probation. This is a new charge. The allegation is that you committed a new criminal offense by not registering as a sex offender. So this doesn't have anything to do with probation.
I didn't commit no offense, man.
Well, the state grand jury has indicted you for to defend yourself against that allegation. That's why I've appointed you a lawyer. So go to your next court hearing, talk to your lawyer about the circumstances of that, and you and your lawyer can start building your defense in this case.
Yeah, but I didn't do nothing like that. Nope.
Okay, talk to your lawyer about that. Talk to your lawyer.
Yeah, I'll talk to your lawyer about that. I don't do that stuff.
Okay, go ahead and step back to your left and get your paperwork. Okay, number 25 on the calendar, Cameron Harold Keith Schwartz, date of birth 6/4/97, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to bizarre behavior.
Did somebody say
He
toilet
is
flush?
here on 4 different matters. The first is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support the new allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings on the new allegation will be a status conference February 27th and a preliminary hearing March 3rd, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations, I've imposed a $50 secured appearance bond. The other 3 matters he's here on are all probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke his probation have been filed, alleging violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer for him in all 3 cases. The next court hearing on the probation matters will be a revocation arraignment February 28th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On the 3 probation warrants, he has a total bond of $1,100. Total bond for all 4 cases will be $1,150, all secured appearance. If anything changes when I visit these individual cell side, I will come back in and update this recording. Otherwise, this court will stand in recess until 5 p.m.
All right. So for those of you that are interested with what's up with the flush, The flush is reserved for people that have nasty charges. I'm thinking about adding a chainsaw or a wood chipper, but I gotta go ahead and sit down and set that up. Add the surround, that sound. What sound do you guys think would be appropriate for those type of charges? If you guys don't mind sharing. And this is Arizona. This is a live court. This is not pre-recorded. These streams, if you see them, I'm running them live. They're happening in actual real time. Sat rice wood chipper. All right. One more flush for him. All right. One flush, one courtesy flush. Wood chipper. So we reserve the wood chippers for SO charges, for DV charges, and even sometimes for some DUI charges when kids or people get hurt, because that's not cool being behind the wheel and drinking and driving. You're putting the general public at risk, which is not cool. People are just trying to go home, and next thing they end up in the morgue for no other reason. A bomb sound, an atomic bomb, maybe. All right. So, hey, if you guys are not familiar with me, I am James. Collect Call James, if you will. The name of our channel is You Have a Collect Call From. And what we do here is we deal with different things dealing with incarceration. So I do prison interviews over the phone, over GTO video visits. I've done releases from prison. You might want to check out my profile. And also we do board of parole hearings in various different states: Connecticut, Utah, Oregon, Kentucky, all over the place, man. Definitely check out our YT page, our YouTube page at CollectCallFrom. That's where I archive everything. If you see me play anything on here on TT, it's gonna be archived on YT. I got everything. You should definitely check it out if you do have a moment. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that follow button. It's free 99. Doesn't cost you anything. Don't be a Scrooge McDuck. Don't be a Mr. Krabby Patty. And I'm not gonna be hitting you for money, because I'm not here to get your money from you. I'm here to try to make a little bread off of YT and TT. So I'm not gonna be asking you for no green dots. I'm not gonna be asking you for no PayPals. I'm not gonna be coming at you with sob stories that my car broke down or it needs new tires or my grandma's in the hospital or some craziness like that. I'm not here for that. That's not me. But what I do want from you guys is, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I want your follow, and I want some of your time, Missy. I don't want your money. All right. So, hey, I do appreciate you guys. If you guys are following, if you guys are watching, even if you're silent lurkers, I appreciate you guys, because with you guys, it's gonna definitely help us, get to that 20,000 mark on TT, and eventually we should be hitting any day now. We should be hitting 5,000 subscribers on YT. So, hey, I do appreciate you guys. I am Collect Call James, and like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it lights out. And with that, I'm out. But I'll be back, all right? I'm going to be back at when the new court starts, which will be in about 2 hours and 6 minutes. So put your timers down. Local time for California. That's the time up there. If you're wondering what the hell is that thing up there, is the time. My local time is 1:54. All right, so next court's going to be at 4 o'clock. Let me see. Oh, yeah. And also, hey, if you see somebody else doing this and it's not me and they don't have the toilet flush, they're faking the funk. Please, hey, don't accept any imitations. If you want the real deal, come right here too. You have a Collect Call From or at Collect Call From. And with that, I'm out. A rato.